This is David Bullock, and welcome to the David Bullock Show. As part of the Social Media Connection Network, today we have a very special guest, Mr. Jay Deragon. Jay has written a book as well as has a website, and it's called The Relationship Economy. Jay, good to have you on the show.
David, thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Very good. We've looked at your book, and we've checked your website, and we want you to just tell the folks, what is the relationship economy? I mean, what is so new about the relationship economy versus what we've had years before now?
Well, actually, that's a very good question. People ask me that a lot. What do you mean by the relationship economy? And an economy represents an exchange of goods and services. But given the developments of the web, now the social web and all this social media, the exchanges are no longer just happening between businesses to businesses, but people to people. Mm-hmm. And people are finding that online they can actually form relationships that have an affinity to an interest, whether it be a personal or a business interest. And those interests and those exchanges creates an economy. It starts the process of an exchange in a relationship that someday or never could turn into an economy of conversations.
Nice. So is this something that is new? Is it something that is only within the last couple of years? I mean, before, I know we've always had email. We've had websites for quite a while. We used to have forums. What has really changed in the last couple of years that makes it so viable now, especially for business?
That's a good question, and people ask me that a lot as well. And I always go back and say, wait, the relationship economy has been here since the beginning of man. It's been the conversations. It's been the conversations creating innovation, ideas, industries. However, since the beginning of time, we've never had such power as we have today. The power of the social web, what it represents today and what it's going to represent tomorrow. So when people engage in conversations and begin to collaborate, you and I met as a result of social media. Many of the people on this broadcast network came together as a result of social media. As a result of social media, we're forming an economy, an exchange of ideas. And, you know, I always talk about the art and science, and I always refer to the art being the technology, being the conversations, and the science being the technology. Then I read your book, Bullock 2.0, and I realized, boy, the art and science also applies over to here on the technology side. It's not just a science, it's an art. And obviously, hope you don't mind me complimenting you, but you've created an art in understanding how to optimize the web, how to fully integrate the web and create measurable business results. And that will enhance relationships, because if you read the media, if you read the blogs out there, people are all saying, companies are all saying, what is the tangible benefit of using social media? So your compliment to that is, and I've heard you speak, I've read your material, is you know how to get people focused on creating tangible results. So actually, why don't you share with our audience, in terms of, now that I've scoped the relationship economy, how the web plays into the economy side of relationships?
Well, I'll give you an example. Just this morning, a friend of mine sent me over a link. He had a new webinar that he was getting ready to put into the marketplace. And what we were able to do was take that, go on to Twitter, which is a social media platform, and create the headline and put the URL there and push the button. And then ask the people to not only just read it one time, but then push it out into the marketplace. And within a couple of hours, we saw 200 some odd clicks hitting that particular website, and I think we produced 2 sales. Now, granted, that's not a lot of sales, but look at the effort. 12 seconds, 200 clicks, 2 sales.
Wow.
So the ROI on effort and the ROI on just putting that in the marketplace, there is something that can be shown. And one of the things that you asked me, because I showed you the results, was what is this you're using to track that? Tracking and getting the web analytics in place is part of making this all make sense, especially to a business owner that's looking at a bottom line, an ROI. What is this stuff going on in the marketplace? Who are we really connecting with? And if we are connecting, what are they doing? That capability exists.
What are the results?
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about results.
Yeah.
But business is about making the exchange and knowing exactly what that exchange is.
But the interesting point of your story there was that when you put it out on Twitter, you began the relationship. And there are all these people who are following each other, and that in itself is the beginning stages of relations. Why would you follow somebody if there wasn't some interest or some affinity to what their conversations are about? Subsequently, what your little example was, you just told a audience of first-degree people.
And then second degree took over.
Bingo! It went from first-degree to connections to second-degree connections, and you said, what, an hour, there are 200 links to it?
Yep.
I mean, that is a pure example. Now, if I'm a business, and all of a sudden I need to get a message out to the marketplace, the fastest way to reach it is using these social tools.
Exactly. And there is a conversation economy, and I'll say it that way.
That's good.
The conversation starts, and once the conversation starts, then you have the possibility for a transaction. So it all works together. So here on this station, this network, and on this show, we'll be talking about how you can use these social media platforms, how they can be used, how you can measure those, and how you can really get things moving forward with your business. Jay, more than a pleasure to have you, and of course you'll be back because we have a lot more to talk about, more conversations to come. This is the David Bullock Show on the Social Media Connection Network. Take care, and we'll see you next time.